All right, so here we are at the end of my 24 365 journey. I dedicated myself last year to recording a video a day every day for the year of 2024. And as the thumbnail and title of this video might suggest, the results thereof were probably a lot less satisfying than I had hoped that they would be. So bring it all the way back to the fall of 2023. And I feel like anymore, I'm just constantly looking for that new big video thing that I'm going to be doing, the way that I can break through the YouTube barrier and succeed on that platform. And around this time, I had noticed creators like Sam Sulek and the Dry Creek Wrangler School were starting to gain some major popularity. There's another YouTube channel that I watch called vidIQ, and they give a lot of advice on how to succeed on a platform, and they tell you what's big now, who's the big thing that everyone's talking about, and so forth. And vidIQ did a video specifically about them and how simpler content was starting to pick up on YouTube at the time. And so I was like, that's perfect, because I don't have the time to put together and edit a whole bunch of major videos every week. That's a lot of work if you have a full-time job and family and life and all these other things outside of it. But I was like, I can probably find time in my day to set up a camera for 20 minutes real quick and film something that I can put on YouTube, as long as I'm saying something that's viable and valuable to the people who are out there watching. And so the stage was set. It was fall of 23, and I had decided that that was what I was going to do. And I don't remember my thought process as to when the whole 24 365 concept came about, but somewhere in my brainstorming process, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video a day for the entire year of 2024. And there'll be these kind of low quality, not low quality, but low editing videos where it's pretty much just me addressing whatever's on my mind that day. And it was probably around the concept of the frequency in which Sam Sulek uploads. I think he manages a daily upload schedule, and his uploads get hundreds of thousands of views the second they're uploaded. It's just mind-boggling the kind of appeal that that man has. But at any rate, I was like, okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. 24 365, that is gonna be my thing. I had this whole plan drawn up that I was gonna make videos driving to and from work every day, because my biggest thing was finding idle time. And it's I have to drive to work anyway. So if I can kind of make that a 2-for-1 special where I'm driving to work and I'm also filming a video, that's 2 birds, 1 stone. It's the perfect primed situation for me to crank out some easy videos. And then if I manage to do that every day, 5 days a week, that's 10 videos right there. And then I also was gonna crank out videos on the weekends as well. And I'd make a conscious effort to find good scenery and to do something interesting on the weekends, so that it would break up the monotony of the me constantly being in my car videos. And so I started building a backlog of content for this challenge as early as 2023. And I think it was October really that I started doing it. And because I can remember I filmed a bunch in October, I filmed a bunch in November, and then December I kind of fell off because I was recording videos, or I went on vacation to Florida at the end of 2023, and I wasn't recording as many videos at that time as I had been leading up to it. But I had a pretty good bank. I think I was 3 months ahead when 2024 finally rolled over, and the pressure was on to keep the upload schedule going. And so the pressure was on, but I had 3 months ahead of my videos, and I had a pretty decent variety. And I kept pushing. I was determined I was gonna release a video every day for 365 days. and that was the goal that I had in mind. And it went well enough the first couple of months. Anything that we do nowadays, or at least that I do nowadays, feels like I'm constantly being attacked by the idea of instant gratification. And if I'm not instantly gaining followers and instantly getting attention for the things that I'm doing online, then it feels like a waste of my time. And I can remember as early as April, me kind of giving up hope on this challenge being a way for my platform to grow in any major or substantial kind of way. And so I was thinking in April, I was like, well, what a bust. Like, this is dumb. And like, I had started the project out 3 months ahead of schedule. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe by some miracle, I can just, because I take a lot of time off in May. I take like almost the entire month off. And so I was like, maybe by some miracle, I can just bang out a whole bunch of content in the month of May because I'm off and have nothing better to do. And then I can be done with it. And that is not at all what happened. The opposite is, in fact, what happened. I didn't film a darn thing in May, and I lost a whole month of my being aheadness. And so that was a lost month. And I just kept cranking them out and continued to really not get anywhere significant with the project. It became very obvious, like certain things that would work, certain things that wouldn't work. I could capitalize on things that were like popular in media at the time. So like there was a big issue with CM Punk and AEW, and I'm a wrestling fan, and so I made a video about that, like when it was hot and on a topic that a lot of people were talking about, and that got like 800 views, which is like big for anything on this project. But like at the end of the day, I cranked out videos every day, and I just kept them going, and I reached a point where we were like 6 months in, and I'd be lucky if I would get like 4 videos or 4 views per video. And that is like a pretty heart-sinking feeling. And like a lot of people preach about like creating videos for yourself and making content for yourself, and to make sure that you're making content for the right reasons. And I do feel like at the end of the day, I am making it for the right reasons. But like this series in particular was meant to appeal to people. And the fact that like I was consistently only getting like 4 views meant like the same four people who were probably like close friends of mine were watching it. And they probably weren't even watching the whole thing. They were like, this is dumb. I wonder why he's doing this. And so it's just a whole kind of disheartening process that really kind of just drug out longer and more cumbersome than I would have liked for it to. And this was like midway through the year that I was coming to this realization where I was like, I don't think that this project's going to produce anything like I hoped it would produce. It's certainly not going to be the project that puts me on the map. If I wanted to just create content around like hot topics in the news or whatever it is that I'm dealing with, then I could do that and probably gain some sort of following from it. But that's not the goal of this here. It was, and that's probably part of the reason why it hasn't succeeded very well either, is because it didn't have a clear direction or aim. Like it'd be different if every week I was talking about music, or every week I was talking about movies or games or whatever. But I was literally just talking about whatever was on my brain at the time. And then so kind of the end of summer, early fall season hits, and they make an announcement for the new Life is Strange game, Double Exposure. And for those of you who are new to the channel or just don't know or haven't dug that deep down into my channel's archives yet, this channel started out as a Life is Strange channel. I am a huge fan of the second game. I think it is one of the best works of art that modern media has to offer. And then the first game is like a good starting point to build up to the second game. It has its own flaws, but it's also their first project. I'm not going to hold them to that too much. And then the third game, in my opinion, is just absolute garbage. And this next game that's coming out does not look very promising at all. But when they made that announcement, I, for a very brief period of time, for like a week or so, went back to making Life is Strange content. And it felt like my channel had come back to life, so to speak. Like, it started out as a Life is Strange channel in 2020, and it blew up. Well, no, it didn't blow up. This channel has not blown up at all. It started out as a Life is Strange channel in 2020, and then I have evolved it from there into other things. But it still has not really found its place on the internet. But as I was revisiting my Life is Strange times and the things that I used to talk about with this game series and game franchise, I was getting a lot more attention than I ever got with 24/365. And I was like, so is that what it is? Is that what, like, does YouTube's algorithm have my content slaved to Life is Strange? And so when all these Life is Strange fans see these videos that are very clearly not about Life is Strange, are they just like, no, not interested? And is that why it's just not getting any sort of attention? Like I said, it was very interesting watching the views climb as I made these videos. That was probably the most that I got out of this, is being able to kind of observe my audience and see what hit and what didn't hit. And it got to the point to where when I got back to making the traditional 24/365 videos, which, by the way, very early on, like I think March time or so, this project like derailed into like me just filming myself in my car driving to and from work. I had all these grandiose ideas of filming videos on the weekends and doing all these scenery videos and really trying to spice it up and split it up. But by April, for sure, that was completely dead because I was just not getting any attention on anything. And I was like, I'm not going to devote any more time to this than I can easily devote to whilst driving to and from work. And so with all that said, with all that considered, I was pretty well like done for it. But at any rate, after the Life is Strange splash in the pan kind of faded out, I went back to this content. And I even had someone post a video and they're like, hey, you should post more Life is Strange content. And I was like, oh, wow, like I didn't realize that that content or my opinion on that franchise was valued at all. And so I will probably get back into that to some degree. Life is Strange Double Exposure comes out in October of some point in time. So I will probably watch somebody play it and give my thoughts and opinions on them playing it. And then, because I don't want to support that game financially, I'm convinced it's going to be garbage, and I don't want to support it financially because that's counterproductive. I'm not going to support it for the sake of supporting it. It'd be different if I was like an established Life is Strange YouTuber who could actually make money making Life is Strange content, but I am not that person at all, so I'm not going to venture down that road. But it was neat to see someone comment on one of my videos, one of my regular 24/365 videos, being like, hey, you should post more Life is Strange stuff. So I intend to get back into that. But kind of after that splash in the pan revival with the Life is Strange videos, I really kind of fell off with the amount of interest that I had in this project at any point. And at that point, I was just very obviously just making content for the sake of checking a box and for the sake of reaching my goal. And anybody who knows me says that knows that I say that you should never do art for the sake of checking off a box. I'm really big about that in like storytelling, and I feel like a lot of people will like include minority characters or characters from certain groups and stuff just for the sake of like checking that box off. And I was like, they have to serve a purpose in your story to exist. Otherwise, it's almost just as insulting for them to just be there as a prop for like, oh, hey, look what I did. So at any rate, I really started cranking out videos towards the fall of 24 with the mindset of just get this done, finish this project out so that I can say that I did this and then move on to whatever's next. And at some point in time, around September of 23, I ran into this other YouTuber. His name's Jack Pidgeot, or I don't know how to say his last name. Sorry, Jack. and it might even be Jake, but like I think it's just spelled J-A-K. Anyway, he does, he basically just tells stories about his life and hopes to inspire people through these stories and give them hope and give them advice or whatever. And I really like the style of his videos because he pulls pictures and videos from his past to like tell his stories from the present point of view. A lot of people lean very heavily on stock footage, and he uses actual footage from when he was a kid. And I was like, that's actually a really good idea. I really like that. And so my next series of content for 2025 will be more heavily edited than what I was previously releasing. We'll see weekly releases instead of daily releases, and they'll be more kind of in the style of Jack Pidgeot or Pigget, in that it'll be me sharing stories with my audience to try and inspire them to grow as creatives, to grow as people, to just feel more humbled in their life, or to feel more warm and cozy in their life, whatever the aim is. But a lot of it's going to be just kind of like life advice, wholesome stories, and stuff that kind of gets you in and gets you to know me a little better, and my 2 cents on how to live this life to its fullest and live it to the best that we can. I've got a lot of really exciting concepts and stories to tell you guys. I'm almost 30, not quite there yet, but I'm almost 30. And the more and more that I think about it, the more and more that I realize that like I have a lot of life experience to pull from. Like obviously I don't have as much life experience as like someone who's in their 50s or even in their 40s, but I've got 3 decades under my belt that I can pull from and tell stories from, and I can provide people value in their lives from these stories. And coming to that realization really did help me out quite a bit in realizing that I had something to tell and that I could do this sort of thing. Because like the other thing is Jack is like, I don't know, 19, 20. He's incredibly old, or he's incredibly young. Incredibly old, that's hilarious. He's incredibly young, and he's able to tell these stories from his life experience and inspire people. So I was like, there's no reason why I can't do the same thing. And so that'll be the new, it's not going to be a challenge this time around. I'm not going to challenge myself to upload a video a week. Like, I don't need that added stress in my life. I will certainly attempt to upload a quality edited video every week. I'll continue doing the videos in my car as I have been doing, but I'll use those mostly as a stash, as like a just in case I missed my deadline this week kind of thing. But again, like I said, I don't want to put a bunch of pressure on myself to make all these videos and to pump all this content out when realistically speaking, like there's no reason for me to put myself through that kind of pressure. And so the hope there is that I can maybe build from the foundation that I made from the 24/365 challenge, because I have to like look at it in retrospect and be like, okay, I just made 365 20-minute videos. Like that is an insane accomplishment. I was doing the math on one of those videos and I was like, you know, most TV shows, like a successful TV show that ran for like 11 seasons, depending on how many episodes they have per season, probably still doesn't even reach 365. Let me go get a calculator because I'm terrible at mental math, but if memory serves me right, it's like, I was thinking like Big Bang Theory. Let's see here, because they had 11 seasons, I'm pretty sure. And if we say they had 24 episodes per season, that's 264 episodes. So that's what I accomplished in 1 year, is more content than a production company puts out in 11 years. Like that's an insane accomplishment. I need to be able to be proud of that and to somehow leverage that content too. Like, that's a lot of content to have to just let it go to waste. So I'll work on figuring out how I can leverage it. But at the end of the day, I need to focus on more focused content that has a clear goal, a clear message, and like, this is what I'm saying to you guys. Telling stories, because I love telling stories. I hope you all like hearing them. And then spending a little more time on editing to try and get a better quality video out for you all. And that's essentially what I got out of this project, was all of those things. Was it a complete bust? It's hard for me to not say yes, because I'm not sure that I got any significant following out of that project. But in retrospect and in hindsight, I'm sure I will find some reason to justify having done it, and to find some benefits out of it at the end of the day. But right now, as I'm just coming clean off of that project, I just finished it, and I'm looking back at how many videos out of my 365 videos have 0 to 4 views, and it's rather alarming, honestly. And I can't help but make it feel as though it is a great big old waste of time. I will be privating or unlisting a lot of those videos just to keep the clutter off of my channel. I'll keep the ones around that I really like or that performed well, but most of them are just gonna go on the unlisted page, just because, like I said, I don't want to clutter up my channel unnecessarily. So, so this year we'll be focusing on telling stories through this channel. I'll be buckling down and getting way more serious with Compression Man over on the Compression Man channel. That's my independent animation, and I've dove really deep into the whole like sub-niche category on YouTube of independent animation. So hopefully I can start getting well known and well versed in that community. But the whole goal here being to focus on stories, weekly releases, more edited content here on this channel, and then I can focus on just cranking out Compression Man. I want to get an episode out May, June, July, August, September, October of every year. So hopefully a six episode season every year. That's like half a regular season. And so that's what we're all looking at for 2025. Thank you for being here and watching what pieces of the 24/365 challenge you watched. I appreciate you being here and being a part of that. Like I said, at some point in time, I'm sure I can look back at it and appreciate it a little more, but I can't help but be very bitter and salty about the whole thing right now. But here's to 2025 being a better year. Here's to you making 2025 a better year, and let's just rock it on out.